back, ladies. Ready for some more information on options to prevent a heart attack? This is video 174. We're smack dab in the middle of a unit on heart attack. And I'm making sure you know everything you need to know to prevent one. I started way back in video 160 teaching you all the facts about heart attacks in women. And each video since then has built on the foundation of the previous one. If you've been with me for any length of time, you know that my entire education works that way. To benefit yourself, you need to watch my videos in order. And as you know, I offer all the management options in all the categories. So I've already given you the management options for preventing a heart attack in the diet and lifestyle categories. And today I'm going to give you the management options in the vitamin, mineral, and supplement category. If you have my book, either the first edition or the second edition, this material is in chapter 28 in the section on vitamin and mineral options for preventing a heart attack. If you're fond of managing your menopause with alternative or complementary measures, this video is for you. If you just want to know which are the best vitamins, minerals, and supplements for your heart, this video is for you too. If you're a regular viewer, you've seen how everything makes sense. By watching the videos in order, you're able to connect the dots and really use the information wisely. You'll see that logic in all these videos on management options. So I'll just go through and discuss each of the vitamins, minerals, or supplements that can help reduce your risk of heart attack. I'm going to address the minerals first. They're the most important for your heart. I'll start with calcium, but I'm going to pair it with magnesium. And I'm pairing them because your body uses them together to benefit your heart. Balancing them is very important. Calcium and magnesium function together in regulating the electrical activity of your heart. And the proper ratio of calcium to magnesium for your heart is 1:1 or 2:1. The proper dosage of calcium for your heart is 400 to 1200 milligrams daily. Now, be sure to understand that this is not an adequate dosage of calcium for your bones. You learned in previous videos that you need 1500 milligrams of calcium daily for your bones. And you also learned that calcium does not prevent osteoporosis. You'll find that I am very specific about the dosages and details of each management option as it pertains to each particular disease. When it comes to calcium, most women need more, not less. So you're better off taking too much than too little. That means it's probably best to just take the calcium dosage that is necessary for your bones and it'll suffice for your heart. And that's 1500 milligrams daily. But few women get more than about 400 milligrams of calcium from their diets. And this is primarily because they mistakenly believe that dairy products are good sources of calcium. They aren't. The best sources of calcium are green, leafy veggies. The other important thing about calcium is that you need to take it in divided doses. Now, what does that mean? Well, while you need 1500 milligrams of calcium per day, your body is not able to absorb all 1500 milligrams of calcium at one time. Your body can only absorb 500 milligrams at a time. So instead of taking 1500 milligrams as a single dose, you need to divide it into 3 separate doses. 500 in the morning, 500 at midday, and 500 in the evening. Now for magnesium. The proper dosage of magnesium is 400 to 1000 milligrams daily. Now, despite the fact that it's easy to get enough magnesium from your diet, many women are magnesium deficient. Foods rich in magnesium include unpolished grains, nuts, and green leafy vegetables. But since so much food is processed, the magnesium is stripped right out of it. Milk, meat, and starchy foods contain very little magnesium, and processed foods contain none at all. So if you don't get enough magnesium-rich foods, you do need to take a supplement. Oh, and if you use antacids for indigestion a lot, that can cause a deficiency in magnesium. So the calcium to magnesium ratio that is necessary for your heart is 1:1 or 2:1. You'll find products that contain both calcium and magnesium in them like this. This is CalMag citrate. Just be sure that the ratio between them is correct. Now we have potassium and sodium. Like calcium and magnesium, these two go together. They have a lot to do with your blood pressure. And like calcium and magnesium, the important thing is the ratio between them. Notice that the order here is potassium first and sodium second. The necessary ratio between potassium and sodium for preventing a heart attack is 5:1. And guess what the average ratio is for most people? It's way off. The typical average potassium to sodium ratio is 1:2. This is one of the reasons high blood pressure is so common. And as you recall from video 167, high blood pressure is one of the risk factors for a heart attack. Here's that list of risk factors again with high blood pressure highlighted in red. Now, the reason so many people are so far off balance with their potassium to sodium ratio is because fast foods and processed foods contain loads of sodium. More and more foods are becoming more and more processed and loaded with more and more sodium. And unfortunately, processed foods are cheaper than unprocessed foods. If you look at food labels, you'll be shocked at how high the sodium contents are. And you'll rarely see potassium listed at all because there isn't any in most foods. And that's okay because you probably don't need more potassium. What you need is less sodium. The recommended daily allowance of sodium is less than 1,500 milligrams a day, but most people get well over 3,400 milligrams daily. That's terrible. The other problem is that for some strange reason, people seem to think of bananas as a great source of potassium, but they aren't. With regard to potassium content, bananas are number 1,611 on the list of foods that contain potassium. Even Reese's Pieces have more potassium than bananas do. You'd have to eat a dozen bananas a day to get the recommended daily intake of potassium. The foods with the highest potassium content are unprocessed plant foods. Before food processing became commonplace, humans consumed about 10,000 milligrams of potassium daily. Now, most people get less than the daily recommended intake of 4,700 milligrams. And upping your potassium can prevent heart attack and stroke. If you increase your potassium by only 1,640 milligrams per day, you can decrease your risk of stroke by 21%. I would bet that increasing potassium intake is the most important thing for most people. Okay, so that's it for the minerals. Next is vitamins, and the first are the B vitamins. There are a lot of B vitamins that are important for preventing a heart attack. They are B3, B6, B9, and B12. So just remember 3, 6, 9, 12. That makes it very easy. Starting with B3. Another name for vitamin B3 is niacin. And niacin improves all the different types of lipids in your body. It increases your healthy HDL and decreases your cholesterol, triglycerides, and lousy LDL. The problem with niacin is that the dosage necessary to achieve all these great effects on your lipids and to reduce your risk of heart attack is 1.5 to 3 grams daily. But that dosage also causes extreme side effects, the most common and significant of which are flushing, liver damage, increased blood glucose levels, and aggravation of gout. Then there are the other B vitamins, which are 6, 9, and 12. They all have other names. But interestingly, most people only know the name of B9, which is folate. B6 is pyridoxine. B12 is cobalamin. But I'll just use their number names. That'll make it much easier. Vitamins B6, 9, and 12 work together, and they all decrease your risk of heart attack. So if you use supplements, you can just take all three as a vitamin B complex. You'll see B complexes like this all over the place. The individual dosages for preventing a heart attack are B6, 40 to 80 milligrams daily. B9, 400 to 800 milligrams daily. And B12, 20 micrograms daily. And the foods with the highest levels of B6, 9, and 12 are dark green leafy vegetables, whole grain cereals, beans, and citrus fruit. Vitamin B12 is found in meat and eggs. But vitamins B6 and 9 come from plant products. Now, remember in video 167, when I showed you that list of risk factors? One of the risk factors was high homocysteine level. Here's the list again with that factor highlighted in red. Do you recall learning that homocysteine is an amino acid found only in animal products? About 10% of the population may have a genetic predisposition for a high homocysteine level, but the vast majority of people have a high level because of diets high in animal fat. I'm bringing this up now because one of the most common reasons for a high homocysteine level is low levels of vitamin B3, 6, and 9. You see how they're connected? And menopause increases your homocysteine level too. So if you've never checked your homocysteine level before, maybe you should. A level of over 15 micromoles per liter is considered high risk. And if it's high, you can lower it by either taking vitamins B3, 6, 9, and 12, or taking a homocysteine lowering formulation like this one. Homocysteine formula. And how much mileage will you get from lowering your homocysteine level? A lot. It can decrease your risk of heart attack by 20%, stroke by 40%, and blood clots by 60%. That's a lot of good mileage. Okay, now for vitamin C. Vitamin C helps prevent fat from adhering to your blood vessels, and it increases absorption of calcium and magnesium. The recommended dosage of vitamin C for preventing a heart attack is 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams daily. Foods that contain vitamin C include mostly fruits and vegetables, but most people don't eat enough fruit and veggies to get vitamin C from their diet. So there are all sorts of vitamin C supplements you can get. There are even powders that you can use to make yourself a flavored beverage like this one called Emergen-C. Oh, and you should know that cooking partially destroys vitamin C. And the last vitamin is vitamin E. Vitamin E decreases your risk of blood clots. And since blood clots are one of the ways in which roadblocks occur in your arteries, it decreases your risk of heart attack. If you want to get vitamin E from foods, the richest sources are vegetable oils, such as sunflower oil, safflower oil, canola oil, cottonseed oil, wheat germ oil, or olive oil. The required dosage is 200 to 800 international units daily. And you'll find all sorts of vitamin E products in grocery stores, drug stores, pharmacies, everywhere. All right, so now we're ready to address supplements. The supplement most familiar for people for preventing a heart attack is Coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10. Your body actually makes its own CoQ10 unless the process for doing so is impaired. CoQ10 improves your heart's pumping ability, and the necessary dosage for reducing your risk for heart attack is 30 milligrams daily. But if you're at high risk for a heart attack, meaning that you have a lot of those risk factors on the list of risk factors, you should take 60 to 90 milligrams, or maybe even more than that, daily. And because it's fat soluble, you should take CoQ10 with a meal that contains at least some fat. Now, I just told you that your body produces CoQ10, but you're not the only animal that produces CoQ10. You can eat it in your diet by eating organ meats like liver, as well as sardines and mackerel. And you can also get it by eating peanuts. If you want to check your level of CoQ10, you can do so with a simple blood test. And the normal level is 0.8 to 1.2 micrograms per milliliter of blood. And the therapeutic level for preventing a heart attack is 2.5 to 3.5 micrograms per milliliter of blood. A less well-known supplement for preventing a heart attack is L-carnitine. It does many things to improve your heart health. It decreases your triglycerides, it increases your healthy HDL, and it regulates your heart rate. The dosage is 250 to 500 milligrams daily. Now, if you read studies about L-carnitine, make sure you distinguish whether they're studies on regular people or bodybuilders. People who want to bulk up their muscles take very high dosages of L-carnitine, and a study in that regard would not apply to a menopausal woman taking the dosages I just mentioned. Just remember that axiom: if a little is good, a lot is not necessarily better. Okay, and then the last supplement is called alpha-lipoic acid, also known as ALA. You know there's an acronym for everything these days, right? Now, ALA is another supplement with which most people are less familiar. It helps to maintain your levels of vitamins C and E, and it also assists in insulin metabolism. And in video 163, you learn that there's more to heart attacks than just fat. Sugar is also a culprit, and that means that your insulin levels matter too. So that's why ALA is good. The recommended dosage of alpha-lipoic acid for preventing a heart attack is 50 to 200 milligrams daily. So I have given you 4 minerals, 6 vitamins, and 3 supplements, all of which can lower your risk for a heart attack. And the dosages I've designated are specifically for the purpose of reducing your risk for heart attack. As usual, I've made you a chart, and you can find it by clicking on the link just under this screen, or you can go to menopausetailor.me. If you click the link, you'll find only this one chart. If you go to my website, you'll find all the charts I've made for you. So here it is. Now, you know that none of these vitamins, minerals, or supplements is magic, right? I mean, it's not like you can eat fatty foods, be a couch potato, and ignore all the risk factors for a heart attack by taking any or all of these substances. Even if you took all of these dutifully, you could still be at risk for a heart attack. No supplement can supplant a heart attack reducing lifestyle. But every little bit of prevention helps. This entire education on menopause is my effort to equip you with the tools that can help make the rest of your life the best of your life. And your best life does not include a heart attack. Okay, so now you have a smorgasbord of options in the vitamin, mineral, and supplement category that are good for your heart. And one of those options was calcium. And every time I mention calcium, someone else mentions something about coronary artery calcium. So that's what I'll discuss in the next video. In the meantime, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and schedule a one-on-one consultation at menopausetailor.me if you need one. I will see you in a week. Bye.